Hi, welcome back to Sold on RV Life. This is Laura, and today we are going to tackle baking bread in an RV oven. I have baked many things in my oven already. I baked muffins, banana bread, rolls, biscuits, pie, cookies, but I do not believe that I have baked actually white bread or loaves of bread in my oven. So today, that's what we're going to try. We're going to see how it turns out. It is known fact that RV ovens do not hold temperature very well. There is a gauge for setting the temperature that you want to use, but there is not an indicator anywhere on it that actually shows you have reached that temperature. So a lot of people will put in a small thermometer that hangs on the shelf. I think I did buy one, but I haven't used it for a while. I did buy a stone to put in my oven. I found one at Aldi's one day out of the blue. It just was there, but I have not actually got it out of the package yet. And because I haven't felt the need to, I've had some pretty good success so far. So again, it's different for everyone. Everyone has different levels or different confidence in their baking or their cooking. So for me, I have found that I can adjust and go with it. But today, who knows? I did realize that my bread pans are very small and the oven is very small. So I am going to half the recipe that I'm going to be using today, and we're just going to see if it works out. If it doesn't, lesson learned. We'll adjust, and I will adjust and try again. So we are going to get into baking bread. I am going to apologize up front. I've done a lot of baking and I've done a lot of cooking in my lifetime, but I've never really taught anyone how to do it other than just showing. So talking it out loud is going to be a little more difficult. I'm using a recipe that I got from another YouTuber, but I think I'm going to keep that information to myself until we see if I'm successful or not, because it's not going to be that recipe's fault. If it doesn't work out, it's going to be my fault because I have made a few changes. And so let's just see what happens. So let's get into the kitchen and get started. So here I have assembled all of my ingredients. I have a half a cup of water and half a cup of milk. I opted to do a third of cup of honey. I have 3/4 of a teaspoon of dry yeast and 2 tablespoons of butter, or 2 tablespoons of butter, 2.5 cups of flour, and in it I have put 3/4 of a teaspoon of salt. So what I'm going to start doing is I warmed my milk up. It is warm to the touch, not too hot. I'm going to actually add my butter in. Now you can use oil, coconut oil. I chose butter. I don't have coconut oil, so that's what I have. And I'm just going to let the warmth of the milk melt the butter, and it'll help cool it down a little bit because it wasn't melted all of the way. And I really do this to touch. A lot of people will do it to temperature. But I like to take shortcuts. I already told you that. So then into that I'm going to pour in my yeast. And mix that in. I'm just going to let it set for about 5 minutes to see it bloom or froth up. Now that it's started to bloom or froth, I'm going to put it in my bowl. I'm going to add my honey. Into that, I'm going to turn this on. Just going to start mixing it up slowly. And all I did was whisk the flour and the salt together just to get it blended a little bit before it goes in. That's enough. And then I'm going to add it a little bit at a time into okay, so now it has been about 7 minutes. I'm going to remove it from the dough hook. Out real nice. That feels really good. And I'm just going to put it in this bowl that I got ready. Put it in there and roll it around in the grease, in the oil. Nice and greased. I'm going to cover it with a towel and put it in a warm place and let it rise. There we go. I'm just going to put it over here on the stove. Okay. Going to give it about an hour and we'll see where we're at. See you in a little bit. Okay, we are back and I have some raised dough here. I'm going to punch it down. Sprinkle my surface a little bit of flour. Not much. It feels like it's pretty good dough. And take it out. Nice. Knead it for a few minutes. They're going to be fairly small loaves. We'll see what happens. It's just experiment anyway. Tasty experiment. Just cut it in half. I'm going to have this little tiny pan, so it's actually going to fit pretty good. And we'll see what happens. Here, cover it with a tea towel. And we'll see how that works out. We'll see you later.
At this point in my bread making day, I decided that I was not happy with results of these first 2 loaves. I put them in the oven, and the oven did remarkably well. The loaves were brown, they were crisp, crusty on the top, but they did not rise very well. So I started a second batch, and here you'll see that. It rose beautifully, just gorgeous. And then I rolled them out, put them in pans again, and came up with the same results. They did not rise a second time. And so here you'll see them side by side. So I have to decide at this point, is this RV testing of the oven, of the RV oven, a fail? I'm not sure. At this point, I punched it down, got them in the pans, rolled them out. They look gorgeous up to this point. And then I did it again. And I ended up with another two very flat loaves of bread. They just wouldn't rise at this point. I have no idea what I did. I do not think it was me, the recipe. It was not the oven. It was just me, could have been the weather. Now here you're going to see my third attempt. This time it rose beautifully. I punched it down, but I decided to make one loaf out of that, the measurements that I had, and it turned out very, not ideal. You'll see me here cutting it. You can see the steam. It's hot. It's came right out of the oven, and I had to try a piece right away. After reflecting on my bread making day, I decided to show you one more last results of the bread. So I decided to toast a couple pieces and let you help me decide if you think this was a fail or if there was success involved. I'm going to rate my oven very high. I think it did what it was asked of it. It was just the operator error in the beginning. And so with this little bread saga, I will keep you posted when I try it again, because I am going to look forward to doing some more experimenting.